Hello, everyone. I'm Mandy Stefankevich, Assistant Principal for Guidance and PPS at Garden City High School. Today, I'm going to speak about the 8th grade into 9th grade transition for students with disabilities and for families of children with disabilities. There's a lot of information that is coming your way over the next few months. Certainly, you're about to embark upon annual review season. Some of you may have started your 8th grade annual reviews already. Please be assured that both the middle school staff and the high school staff are constantly in communication and collaboration. We've been talking about your children this year in pre-discussions before annual reviews, and our psychologists have met. I've been down to the middle school to see some students, to observe some classes, and offer any guidance that I can. And certainly my school psychologists up here, Jessica Barenbroik and Brittany Masseri, have also gone down into the 8th grade and have met with Katie Burke and Dr. Mendelson, Melina Mendelson at the middle school. So today I'm just going to review some general information. There's a lot to absorb, so I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but I do want to make sure that at least you've been exposed to some information. Much of this will really just build over the next 4 to 5, 6 years, however long your child's here for their transition needs and academic and social emotional needs. So I will review everything again, but I think a lot of this will come down to the relationships you build in the high school with your school counselor, who will remain with you throughout your high school career, which is based on alphabet. When over the summer, when everything is scheduling and divided and we look at caseloads, all of that information will be provided to you. So I'm just to go through a few different names, information. Most of you will know this already. Pupil Personnel Services obviously is head by Janine Velez. She's our director. Desiree Clemente is the assistant director. And myself, as I said, the assistant principal for guidance and PPS at the high school. We do have 2 school psychologists at the high school currently. Brittany Masseri, who is here full-time and currently works with the 9th grade, the 11th, the 12th grade, and any students who are ungraded. And Jessica Barenbroik currently works with the 10th grade and will follow through with them for the 11th grade next year. Dina Garpone is our school social worker who works with all of our students as well. You've seen some of these pictures before, certainly in district presentations, but just a reminder that we do all collaborate with each other and we stand behind our mission statement. We really do look at every student with the opportunity to grow and to really understand their academic, social, and personal success. And that's different for everyone. It truly is an individualized process. Our vision, again, I stand behind very much so all of these different philosophies and collaboration and communication and building respectful relationships to me is integral in any student or any person's success throughout. So in preparation for high school, articulation. As I said, we've already started this process, but it will certainly become more in depth in the latter part of the spring, and then certainly in the early fall before school begins. Our 8th grade staff meets with our high school staff to review once annual reviews are done and the programs have been solidified. We will meet, we go through each student, we review what their IEPs will be to understand their needs for the following year. Annual reviews or IEPs are an annual document. It's a 1-year document. So our teachers understand it. We're all working with the same kind of document, the same kind of IEP. So we consistently work together to meet the needs of all of our students. Our counselors, our teachers, school psychologists, school social workers, all collaborate from the middle school and the high school to make sure that our students transition as seamlessly as possible. Some things are the same, some things are different. So in the middle school, just like in the high school, you've had case managers. The case manager continues to be the first point of contact. Early on in the year, our case managers will reach out and introduce themselves. They are your point of contact for a student's learning needs, any questions about their special education program. Your school counselor, continues to be your person over the next however many years your child is at the high school, and that's your consistent person. A case manager may change every year. Case managers are someone that your student is working with during that year, and they may not have that same teacher the following year. So it wouldn't make sense to maintain the same case manager year after year. Same role of a case manager working on IEP goals, progress reports, and all of that. That will remain the same. Programs and services, many of these are the same as well. The resource room, co-teaching, special classes. The difference obviously in the high school is that there's New York State requirements for credits, for outgoing exams and all of that, which we'll get into in a little bit. We have a 9-period day. We do a bell schedule. There's lunch during that day, and related services and programs. Related services are provided during the school day. We do not provide during a 0 period or after school. So that occurs during the day, whatever the IEP designation is, we make that work with the schedule for the student. We implement program modifications, testing accommodations, and then certainly continue to work with different consultants when needed across different areas. We also have general education support services, which are available for all students, whether you are classified with an IEP or not. The math lab, math support class, which are subject specific. Reading class, which is based on recommendation and testing from reading teachers. We have a writing center. We have academic class support, which is similar somewhat to what was given in the middle school as well. Sometimes it's the same teacher that you have, a little bit different if you were in co-teaching and went through your classes and then had that same teacher at the end of the day. Sometimes it's a teacher you have in a co-taught class. Sometimes it's an additional teacher, but they are all special education teachers. Each teacher provides extra help. And then as needed, depending on the year, there's also general education regents review classes. We have a master schedule at the high school, which I'm sure you can imagine has a lot of parts and layers to it. Certainly mandated IEP programs and services must happen between that 9-period day, and they take precedence over anything else. It is always our intention to give a student a rich education, but I always make sure to let parents know that if there's multiple related services, certainly if a student is continuing to take a world language, that they need to just understand and be prepared. Although we may ask what electives a student would want to take, there just may not be time in that freshman year to fit in an elective. Some students have singleton classes, some electives are singleton classes, and every so often those happen to be the same period. So we think it's important to prepare students before they come to 9th grade that it may not happen in 9th grade, but there's more than enough time over their high school career to try a variety of different electives. Electives do run daily, whether for one semester or a full year. They do not run every other day. So pathways to graduation. Again, for this piece of it, I'd like to discuss some of the different options. I've included different links to state sites. So again, I will share this PowerPoint and you can look at this at your leisure. Obviously, this is being recorded. You can click and just really dive in. But for the most part, your school counselor will be the person that helps you on this journey throughout your years at the high school. All students, if you are on track for a diploma, that it typically starts as a Regents track and then it goes from there, whether it's for advanced designation or whether you have to use different safety nets, which we'll go over, to get a local diploma or a CDOS. Students with significant disabilities that are determined to be on the path towards the skills and achievement commencement credential that's a different pathway based on IEP goals and skills and management needs. So I'm just going to show you quickly this link, what it will bring us to show you New York State really puts a very nice chart out that seems overwhelming at first glance, but once you read it and reread it, it actually is quite well written and organized. So there's 22 credits that a student needs to graduate, but there's 22 specific credits. Many of our students end up graduating with more than 22 credits based on electives or, as you can see here, science. You only need 3 years of specific science. Many of our students may take 4 years. The same in mathematics. They might take a 4th year. So these are the specific requirements for graduation, which leads you to a variety of pathways. Again, you'll hear things like 4+1 pathway. And basically what those refer to are the different state exam requirements. Now, we're in a year, which is still up for debate, whether or not Regents exams will go forth as usual or have some kind of modification to them for the 2021 Regents session. But for many of you, whether you were in science or math last year, or you may have an older child, you know that Regents exams were canceled in June of 2020. So the different pathways that were created by the state have now, which is down here, there are exemptions due to the COVID-19 public health emergency. So students will not be penalized for exams that were canceled. They actually come out of the equation. So if 3 exams, say, were required in the science domain, but you were in a class that culminated in a Regents exam, which was canceled, then for your specific graduation pathway, you'd only have 2 exams that were required. No exams need to be made up, and no students will be penalized for not having the opportunity to take those exams. And that includes the different special endorsements, different honors or mastery. These have their own criteria. That mastery in math or science, you needed to score an average of 85 or better on 3 different math exams or 3 different science exams. Again, if exams were canceled in June, then it would only be on 2 exams. Whatever was missed because of COVID, again, would not be held against a student. Here's another chart, and this, I think, helps a lot of our students with different learners because this also goes through the different local diplomas, local diploma for a student with a disability. It breaks down the difference of compensatory safety net and low pass options. So again, I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but just to put it out there, if you've heard those terms, a low pass option for a local diploma means instead of that 65, which was considered the passing score for a Regents exam, a student who would graduate with a local diploma may achieve a 55 to 64 on an exam, and that can still be counted towards a high school diploma. A local diploma, again, is a high school diploma that can get you into college for sure and certainly qualify for any employment or civil service or what have you. It's a diploma. The compensatory safety net is also another pathway towards a diploma, a local diploma. In the compensatory safety net feature, again, I will get into this a little bit more. I'll show you another graphic. Students can score, it's basically a seesaw. So if you're able to score a 65 or above on one exam, a required exam, and on another area, you fall in the range of 45 to 54, they balance each other out and allow you to get a local diploma. The only criteria that changes is math and English must fall in that 55 or above. So your science exams or your social studies exam can fall in that 45 to 54 if you have a 65 or above to balance it out. Again, we'll go into that more in depth. There's also other tracks that have to do with STEM pathways and taking an additional exam, that 4+1. The 1 can be an additional science, it can be an additional social studies, it can be an additional math, or for some of our students who do career and technical programs at Barry Tech, or maybe in their internship, a CDOS certificate or credential can be used in that 4+1 pathway. And I'll get into that momentarily. So let me get off of this link. I'll go back to my slideshow. So as I discussed, with multiple pathways, the 4+1, that +1 isn't just exams. It also can be in the arts. If you've taken a sequence of a certain amount of courses that culminate in a departmental exam, like the AP Art exam, in languages other than English. So if your child is along the track to take their 3 years of world language that culminates in the checkpoint B, or the FLAX exam, at the end, typically of their sophomore year, potentially of their junior year. Then that also can count as a pathway. And as I said earlier, the CTE, Career and Technical Education, and CDOS, that can also be that +1 piece. Humanities and the STEM include the additional exams that count for that 4+1. Let me click this pathway, which will give you another visual of what I've been talking about. We'll give it a second to come up. And again, it's just another resource on the state website, which actually is quite comprehensive, on www.nicid.gov. This will go into further the multiple pathways to graduation. They have some nice graphics, and they go into each of the pathways to explain what meets that criteria. There's a lot of Q&As because, of course, this causes a lot of questions. But please, again, rest assured that myself and the counselors know this in and out. And if we don't, we ask each other, because it's, we've been doing this a few years with the pathways. They've updated different regulations. 2018, it was the last update to the regulations, different from the COVID piece, obviously, from last year. But this is a really good website, quite comprehensive, to learn more about the pathways. The last piece of it, which I touched upon, were the different appeals, safety nets, and superintendent determination. I just want to go into that a little bit more. Again, the appeals actually is for general ed students and classified students, that there's a caveat to that 65 and that 55, that if you take an exam more than twice and fell in that, if you were looking for a 65, if you fell in the 60 to 64 range, or with a 55, if you fell into the 52 to 54 range and you've taken it more than twice, then you can put in through, we have an appeals process that the state also allows to afford you access to a diploma. And again, the counselor takes you through that process with administration. The safety nets, as we talked about, were the low pass safety nets. That's that 55 or above. And the compensatory safety net is that 45 to 65 seesaw. The superintendent determination for a local diploma, and this was a wonderful addition. Again, I believe it was solidified in 2018. The conversation started in 2016. The CDOS, let me bring up the link actually. So in the past, the CDOS, which was the career credential that was added on to diplomas, but it didn't give you a diploma itself. It was a credential, and it certified to the state that, yes, you have achieved, based on the universal foundation skills, you've achieved the skills that afford you access to entry-level employment. But it was limited because it didn't give you a diploma. And civil service requires, as one example, requires a diploma. So the state, thankfully, in 2016, as I said, started the conversation. In 2018, solidified the superintendent's determination that states, if you've satisfied a few different steps along the way, which include taking those 22 credits of class, state learning standard credits, so not just taking 22 credits, but taking English 9, global studies, U.S. history, your living environment, your earth science, your government and economics, all the classes that the state designates are required within those 22 credits. If you've taken them and successfully met the learning standards that the state requires and have attempted the Regents exam, that through a process of superintendent's determination, you can apply, bring this up, there's a form, you can apply for a superintendent's determination to say, yes, I've met the criteria for a diploma. The superintendent evaluates the different performance that you've had through, I'm just going to bring it up here so you can see the actual form. Bring it across as it opens. And it's a process. Sorry, it's on my other screen. Let me bring it across. Here we go. So there's eligibility conditions that the superintendent goes through with the team, which says, again, that you've attempted the exams but have not been able to satisfy even that 55 or those appeal that you're unable to achieve that, but that you have satisfied the requirements of the class, and goes through, again, we fill this out internally after a parent requested letter, that you can now, again, through a superintendent's determination, if you've also satisfied the CDOS requirements, which include 216 hours of work-based learning or CTE courses, that you can get a diploma. And it was a pretty incredible addition that the state gave out that gave students and different learners opportunity to have a fulfilling academic career, a rich vocational career, and maybe they just didn't test well and couldn't achieve that 55 or that 65 on a Regents exam, but they could still qualify for a diploma, which again gives access to civil service, jobs, and potentially college if that's the path that the student or the young adult at that point chose to go. So again, I know it's a lot of information that I'm sharing. These are things that you don't really have to worry about in depth just yet, but I wanted you to have that preliminary information and know that, again, we will take care of that with you. We will help you along that process, and we will get your youngster what's appropriate for them to meet their post-secondary needs. So just a few more slides to go through, just to introduce a few different topics that you may see. Obviously, going into high school at age 12, we start to look at that post-secondary success, but the IEP itself starts to change when students become 15. There's more sections in the IEP that you'll see. Now there'll be measurable post-secondary goals, coordinated set of transition activities, because we really want to make sure as a team that we're working with the child and the family about post-secondary, right? In high school, what do we need to find a successful life for whatever that is after a youngster leaves high school, whether it's vocational, academic, social, emotional, adapted daily living, whatever the needs are, we really want to start talking about it. We have transition assessments that look at different subject areas each year to get students thinking about what their goals are. We really focus on self-advocacy for students. The student voice is very important for that post-secondary planning. We do a one-pager each year so that student can look at strengths, areas to develop, interests, and they participate in every annual review. They are just as much a participant, if not the most important participant at the table. Different activities, we have some different programs that we use online that really cater to varying levels of functioning in Naviance. We do college fairs. We have our support services fair. We do interviews. We push into programs. The Habit program is a push-in program. Our counselors meet individually with students multiple times throughout the year to really just get that lens of college and career readiness, whatever that looks like for the individual. There's a lot of resources out there. I listed a few of the main agencies, which I'm hoping we're working on a virtual transition fair for April 26th with a few neighboring districts. And some of these agencies will be there virtually as well. So as I know more information, I will certainly share that. And you have the resources in the school. Obviously, I work very closely with Mr. Steingrubner, Mr. Malone, and Mr. Parada at the high school. I work very closely with the counselors and all of the special ed teachers as I oversee all of them. And I work closely with families and students still. So, my message to everyone is that we are here. We are here to help. Every journey is individual. Every student has their own needs. And although, again, some of the things are the same from the middle school to the high school, it is a change. And we understand that. And this year is a little bit more difficult since just everything's a little bit more difficult. So we want to give you as much information as we can. As part of the transition, I actually have a video here that our special education teachers made, and I'm going to click on it. I think it's important for you to see all their faces. It's about 6 minutes. Each teacher and our school psychologist and social worker and myself are in there. So just sit back, listen for, it's like I said, approximately 6 minutes. It provides different tips for students geared towards incoming students to the high school. All right, so let's see if I can get this link to work. And we'll watch our video of our teachers. All right, it's on YouTube, so you can access it later too.
Hello and welcome to Garden City High School. My name is Miss Squires and I'm part of the special education department. I usually teach social studies, I teach Global 10, and I also teach U.S. history. Sometimes I also do 12th grade economics and government. What I'm going to do here today is to take you around to everyone else in the department and they're going to tell you what they teach and give you one tip. One tip I have for you is to just advocate for yourself. We want to help you and we will help you in any way we can. We need to know that you need help. So if you have a question about an assignment or class notes or anything, please reach out. Everyone in this department is so willing to go above and beyond to help you. We just need to know. So now I'm going to go around to my colleagues in the special education department and introduce you to them. They're going to tell you what they teach this year, and they're also going to give you a tip to help you get ready for the high school. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to having you here.
Scott Ellis. I teach self-contained English 9 and 9th grade co-taught English, and my word to you incoming freshmen is to take the year seriously. It's a big step up from the middle school, but everyone is very capable and can be successful. Use your resources, reach out to your teachers if you're having a hard time, and you will have a successful year.
Hi, I'm Ann Flossie. I'm the speech pathologist in our high school. My tip is to listen to your teachers and make sure you speak loudly when you're answering questions.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Moss. I teach English. The best advice I can give you is to find a system that works for you to document your homework. You need to be able to know what is due and when it's due, and you need to know how to access that information. Good luck.
Hi guys, I'm Mr. Calver. I teach living environment and pre-algebra. One piece of advice for next year, just make sure you communicate well with your teachers, let them know what's going on, what you don't understand, what you do, and whenever you need any help, just make sure you reach out.
Hi, I'm Miss Kier. Welcome to Garden City High School. I teach 9th grade math, and I teach resource room and academic support this year. I don't know what I'll be teaching next year, probably math. My biggest tip for you is to do your math homework. Do your homework and get extra help. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Mr. Gorn, and I teach 9th grade global history. I hope to be teaching that next year, and I can't wait to meet all of you. One important tip would be to advocate for yourself and to communicate with your teachers.
My name is Mrs. Fuller, and I work here at the Assistive Technology Office. And Mrs. Birdie and I are here to help you with anything related to assistive technology to support your learning. Here's a quick tip on technology. Make sure that it works for you and that it's personal, and use the options that work best for you. Have a great day.
My name is Ms. Colwell. I predominantly teach upstairs in the chemistry classes. I also have a resource room and environmental science. Welcome to the high school. I think you're going to love it here. My tip for you basically is access your teachers. Communicate with your teachers. Ask for help when you need it. And I'm sure everybody here would be more than happy to help you get on track and stay on track.
Franca. I teach resource room over here in Garden City High School and co-teaching in Algebra 2. And perseverance. Never give up and try your best.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Masseri. I am the school psychologist here at Garden City High School. Welcome. One tip I have for you guys is to get plenty rest. We start bright and early.
Hi, I'm Mr. Gervasi. I teach Common Core Geometry and Resource Room. And I don't really have a tip, but you should remember one important thing, that everybody here in the high school, all the staff is really here to help you and to make sure you have a very successful experience right here at Garden City High School.
I'm Mrs. Farrar. I teach the co-taught classes and I teach the ACE program. My one tip would be stay organized and stay prepared and ahead of the game.
Hi, I'm Mr. Olson. I teach Earth Science and Living Environment here at the high school. My tip for you to be successful is access your teachers, advocate for yourself, and go to extra help.
Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Rapone and I'm your school social worker at Garden City High School. I just wanted to introduce myself and give you one quick tip as an incoming freshman, and that is just to have fun and be yourself. You're coming from the middle school, you're going to have a lot more freedom at the high school, and just enjoy it and be the best you that you can be. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing you when you come to the high school. Have a great day.
Hey, ninth graders, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Wally, and I teach Earth Science, and I'm also involved in the Social Studies program. I just wanted to give you one little tip. You need to be flexible when you come to the high school. It's very, very important. The routine is different, so you need to be flexible. That's my tip. Looking forward to meeting you. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Going. I'm one of the special ed teachers at Garden City High School. My tip for you as you enter the high school is set your alarm early enough so you have time to get ready, organize materials, and have a healthy breakfast.
Hey, I'm Jessica Barenbright, one of the school psychologists. My tip for you is to visit our beautiful support suite here. We all feel overwhelmed sometimes, so if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, please come talk to one of us, and we can't wait to meet you.
Hi everyone, I'm Mandy Stepankevich, Assistant Principal for Guidance and PPS. Thank you so much for watching our video. We look forward to having you here at the high school. There's going to be a lot of changes, but a lot of things are going to stay the same. Your teachers are here to help you, students are here to help you, and we're all here just to learn and grow and figure out what our journey is for the future. My tip would be, or what I look at high school is, it's about finding your voice. Finding your voice internally to figure out what kind of learner you are, as well as finding your voice externally to ask for help, socialize, and figure out what you love. So welcome, enjoy these last few months in middle school, and we really can't wait till you have you here next year. Okay, so let me get off of this page and get us back. So again, I just want to thank you all for listening. Hopefully you've maintained the whole time. This is just the beginning of the conversation. Once the students do come to the high school, certainly again, pairing with their counselor, pairing with their case manager, and really diving into the high school special education program, whether it's our special class 812, our co-teaching, our special class 1211, special class 1212. We have a lot of different programs because our goal here is to meet the individual's needs as best we can. So if you have any questions, again, I certainly am here. My email is listed. My phone number in the guidance office is 516-478-2012. Your counselors and special education teachers at the middle school are here to finish this chapter with you and certainly transition you as best as they can towards us, who are looking forward to helping you towards whatever pathway and post-secondary plan you have. So thank you again for listening and have a wonderful day.